So welcome to the film that is based around Photoshop color lookup tables. This is more of an introduction, a basic kind of awareness of how to use them, how to apply them, and basically how to move them across images. We'll be doing a more advanced film for those of you looking to actually save them to actually be used across multiple images. Now, a color lookup table, probably in some ways you're used to actually changing images in so many different ways before they even get into Photoshop, using the likes of Lightroom or Photoshop, Adobe Bridge and Camera Raw. However, as far as the changes that we're making there, of course, those are usually ones that we're going to go backwards and either save out or reapply in the form of a presets and so on. Color lookup table, basically what it's doing, it's changing the original color of the image and remapping it to a different specific color that you're deciding on, again, as I said, like a preset. Now we can either give a subtle remapping of the color or a very dramatic look and stylization of the color as well. So it's just really a way to apply a whole theme. And again, the great thing about this, of course, they can be applied through pretty much all the Adobe family and film kind of context as well. So what is it? How is it? Where is it found? Okay, that's the first thing. So the first thing to acknowledge is that a color lookup table in its basic form is an adjustment layer. And as an adjustment layer, we've got them here on the side, and basically they can be switched on and off and applied in a multiple way, as well as being able to have their look and feel change with either a blend mode or with the opacity or both within the image itself, and they can be stacked on each other as well as kind of saved out, just like a preset is. To get a lookup table as a layer, there's two real ways to do it, and that is either in the layers panel, clicking onto the half moon, which as we know is the create new fill or adjustment layer, and then basically clicking on to the lookup color table or color lookup as it's described here, and this is in the third panel down, and basically as you can see it's the last one in the third panel. Once we've done that, the properties dialog box will open up whether it's visible or not, and then as a basic you're going to be using the load 3D LUT. LUT means lookup table. Then from here you can basically go in and apply any of the kind of the effects that they've already got in place, the lookup tables in place. Obviously, as I said, you can kind of go in there and actually change the amount they're applying. You can also change their blend modes as well for either a dramatic or a subtle effect. Obviously, if you're only applying a very, very subtle change as far as the look is concerned, with an opacity or its a blend mode, you're going to get a different look and feel. Or to apply a lookup table, you can just click onto the adjustments panel. The lookup table is symbolized by the likes of a 3x3 grid, and by clicking onto that straight away it creates a new adjustment layer in exactly the same way as we just did. Once more, you would just go into the load 3D LUT and go in and basically change the look that you want to it. Okay, so you can either look at and use it as you could either use the lookup table as in full strength, or you can change its opacity and so on. Now, just like a layer, all these adjustment layers can either be moved in part or in full across to another image, just by all I've done here is select them and basically going on to the image itself and dragging them on top, and that will actually then add that same look and feel effect across them. So if you're working in a basic way and you're a little bit confused on how to save them within the Photoshop kind of presets element, then basically you can save one file and either drag and drop them as I just did here as far as a selection of layers, or of course if I went back onto this image and I just created them into a group, that's probably a lot easier for many of you. Let me just go back here and delete these. Let's drop those out of the way. There we go. So all I've got to do here is actually grab the group and drag them on to the other image, and that is applying them. In the same way, remember, you can open this up and you've got all the lookup tables and any other adjustments, because remember, a look and a feel is also taking hold of the likes of curves or a levels adjustment as well and things really. All right, so it's just not about the color. So basically, once more, let's just look at how we do it. So we just go into either the adjustments, click on the 3x3 square, load the 3D LUT, choose on the image that you want. If that's acceptable, I'm okay. If you want to actually reduce the opacity down, if you want to change its blend mode, you go into here. Remember, at any stage you can go in and let's say that's a little bit too red. I can just go into my reds on my hue and saturation and basically start to actually reduce those down, or even go in and change their colors in the likes of curves. So a lookup table will give you a stylized effect on an image or images based on the kinds of the preset that you've saved, or you're applying by drag and drop, or you're actually doing one at a time each time with it. So that is the basics of a lookup table.